Christian, thank you so much for the introduction. And once again, thank you guys for having me. It's always an honor to be able to utilize this platform to share my skill set and then just help other fellow estheticians in the industry. So thank you everyone for joining. And we're going to just dive right into it today. If you had the opportunity to catch our first webinar, I spoke about business and pretty much the foundation of your business and starting your esthetician business and how to grow your business and the basics of the esthetician business. So again, welcome to the webinar. We are going to talk about the next steps. So this webinar is about finding your niche in the industry and figuring out how to expand on it. We will go into building your foundation. You have your licensing, your skill sets, and figuring out what the right services are. Understanding what the top requested versus the top selling services are and how it benefits you and your business, and being able to maximize on the profits on both ends. And then just understanding what your niche is, finding your niche, what sets you apart in the beauty industry from the next person. And then understanding and knowing how to market and how effective your marketing is in bringing in your clients and retaining your clientele. So with that said, again, I'm just going to dive straight in. And if you guys have any questions, of course, just let me know and we'll discuss those at the end. All right. And thank you for your patience, because you guys, I had to pivot. I'm not at my location, so I'm working from a single monitor laptop right now. But just a little bit about me. From small beginnings to big dreams, I am Ebony Overstreet. I'm a very passionate esthetician, mentor, and entrepreneur dedicated to empowering others through beauty and self-care. I can read that, but I can tell you directly, my journey began in 2015. I started out just being a lash extension tech. And I got into the business. I loved doing lash extensions, but the salon that I worked in Atlanta was very popular. And the owner of the salon was like one of the top lash artists in Atlanta. And I learned a lot from her. And one of the biggest things that I gathered was I didn't want to just do lash extensions. I figured that I liked how she taught classes. I liked how she just had her hands in a little bit of everything. And she had residual income coming from literally everywhere. And so as I studied more, I decided that I wanted to become an esthetician, and I branded Bella Vida Day Spa, which has become my baby. It has been a hard journey. And most of you guys know that the aesthetics business, the beauty business in itself, is up and down. You know, you may go one week and you're just literally booming. And then that next week you're looking like, where did all those customers and clients go? So it's been a very hard journey. But I have did everything from win, lose it all, win it all back again. But I figured out and found my niche. I found the blueprint, and I figured out what made my business grow. I'm very passionate about education. And one of the things that I felt like I lacked in the beginning was I didn't have the proper education. Nobody broke down, the building blocks of having a business. And then once I learned that, I realized that I didn't understand marketing. I just knew that I needed clients, and I wasn't strategic about how I was going to get my clients. So through a lot of training, West Coast, East Coast, I spent over a year in training just to build myself up. And I learned my business inside out. I learned the back end of the business. I learned all of my skill sets, all of my services. I went to everybody that I felt like was the best of the best, and I tried to figure out what worked for me, which is how I got to this point. So I'm proud to say that we were nominated and recognized as one of Georgia's best for 2024. That was a great honor because if you know anything about Georgia's best, you know, there's a lot of day spas, there's a lot of estheticians, there's a lot of salons here in Georgia, Atlanta alone. And to be nominated and honored as one of the top was an amazing ordeal for me. But it led me and really pushed me more to be where I am today. So doing things like partnering with Elite Beauty Society, hosting educational classes, connecting in my community, just connecting with other estheticians has allowed me to not only grow myself, but grow my business and help others do the same. So enough about me. Let's talk about what we're here for today. So the foundation, you've already, most of you, I'm not sure if you're introductory, I'm not sure where you are in your aesthetics journey, but most of you have already gotten licensed and you're doing some type of business. What we do know is, okay, what's the basics? So everybody is here and they're all doing facials. Some of you guys are doing waxing. Some of you guys are even entering into body sculpting. We have brows, permanent makeup, just doing makeup, lash extensions, reflexology, dermaplaning, and microdermabrasion. These skills sets and services are what make up the aesthetics industry. Now, when we talk about where we are in finding our niche, you have to figure out what you're good at. So in this journey, you need to decide, okay, everybody can do a facial. What separates me from the esthetician next door in the same building and salon suites that I'm have that's doing facials? What makes my facials better? Or if it's waxing, what makes me better at waxing? I have I call her my Esty buddy, but she's in another state. She's in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she's, you know, she does her waxing in 6 minutes or less. I'm not, waxing is not my thing. I do wax. I love to do whatever my clients need me to do, but waxing is one of those things that I really just, I don't have to do it. I figured out for me, it was body sculpting and it was my facial services. So with that being said, when you look at all the services that you can offer, and when you give a client a pot full of things, you have to, one, you have to be the expert for them and tell them what they need. And then two, you have to make sure that you're not overwhelming them in your business. So a lot of times you go to a business's website and you're like, okay, well, I want to get a massage. And when you look at their website, there's like 35 different massage types. If I've never had a massage, or if I've only had one type of massage, that can be overwhelming. So what we're going to discuss today is how to hone in on what services work best for you, what services sell best for you, and then what's your actual niche? What should you be focusing on? All right, so that leads us into top requested over top selected services. What do we mean by this? Top requested and top selected services. So when we think of this, we think about when you go to your website, what services are you noticing that individuals or your clients are selecting the most? Which services are you doing the most? And when you look at the two, you may do a lot of facials, but you may see that you're selling a lot of products. So what we want to do is focus on where the revenue is coming in the most, and then figure out how to make that be your marketing for your business. So in the aesthetics industry, there's a difference between what clients ask for the most, which is your top requested, and what actually drives revenue, which is your top selling. While a service may be highly requested, it doesn't always translate to the most profit. Understanding this balance helps you strategically price, promote, and package services to maximum income. By identifying your most in-demand treatments and your high-earning services, You can refine your offerings, upsell effectively, and create a business model that works smarter and not harder. Basically, to sum all that up is, if your niche, if what you're known for is doing brows, but you notice that people are actually booking more facials for you, then maybe you need to focus on the facials in your business and not so much on your brows. And what I mean by that is that's where your marketing comes into. I'm selling a lot of facial services, but I like to do brows. I do a lot of brows, but my money, my revenue on the back end, I'm seeing that most of my money is coming in from facial services. I may need to market that more so that that revenue builds more. And then I can still market my brows, but it seems like they're loving the facial services more. All right. So the next slide goes into, what actually is your niche. And to understand that, you want to know the difference between skill set, passion, and your niche. A skill set refers to a combination of abilities, knowledge, and expertise that a person has acquired. These skills can be developed through education, training, hands-on experience, and continuous practice. Basically, it goes back to what you do, what you great at, and what you've been trained in, and you can kind of, it's one of those things, it's kind of like riding a bike, you don't forget it. You can go anywhere and set up shop, and this, you can do this like the back of your hand. Passion is a powerful drive or a deep enthusiasm for something that excites and motivates you. It is an interest so strong that you're willing to invest time, energy, and effort to pursue or develop it, even in the face of challenges. Sometimes we confuse passion with our niche and also our skill set. For me, my passion is helping others. My passion is helping others grow their business, helping others learn new skill sets, nurturing to others. That's a passion of mine. It's something that it drives me. It makes me want to get up in the morning and go. It's something that I know that's my push. My skill set, however, is a range of things. And what I mean by that is I've been a mortgage loan officer. I have great skills in real estate. Of course, the aesthetics field. I have a wide variety of skill sets because I can do a lot of different services. I train on a lot of different things. But then my niche, what is my niche? What is that one thing that I got it. I can really do it. A niche is a specialized area within an industry that focuses on a specific set of services, skills, or clientele. It allows businesses to stand out by catering to a targeted market, meeting unique needs, and positioning themselves as experts in that space. What does that mean? Do you know the difference between the three? How do you make all three work for you? That's what we're going to pull in together in this webinar. You really have all three in your industry because you have to have a certain skill set to be able to be an esthetician. You've learned, and you've taken your nationals and you've got your license, and you actually can do the work. You can do the services. Your passion comes in as far as how far you're going to push yourself to go. Are you passionate about what you do? Are you just doing it because it's just extra money? Or are you doing it because you really want to learn about skincare? You really want to help people see change. You want to see them when they get off of your table, when they walk out of your spa or your suite, you want to know that you made a difference in them, even if it's just a glow in their skin. That's passion. Your niche is, okay, I can do all these things. And one of the things that I always say is you can be good at everything, but you can only be great at one thing. You can have your hands in all the pots. So I can do brows, I can do lashes, I can do, this, that, and the other. Your niche is that one thing that you're absolutely good at, but you're also known for. Your niche helps you brand yourself. So for me, what I realized is, as much as I love doing lash extensions, I started out doing it and I felt like that was my drive. That's how I built my customer base. That's how I made myself known. I was, a lash artist. Once I got my aesthetics license and I started doing different skincare services, I realized that I'm really good at facials. I'm really good at massaging and making people feel very comfortable and safe enough to allow me to take care of their skin, their body, their most precious parts of themselves. Um, but as I moved around in the aesthetic world, I then realized that I like to do facials, I like to do this, but I got training in body contouring. And once I learned the ins and out of body contouring, I figured out how to make that work for me in my business, because initially I was just doing all skincare. I was not doing any body work. Once I learned that I could bring the two together, and my specialty when it comes to body contouring is the wood therapy piece. I've incorporated wood therapy in not only just the body contouring sector of what my business does, but also I moved it into the skin and body care, because when I do my back facials, now I offer wood therapy in it. It's one of my top selling services. Wood therapy itself is one of my top selling services. And so I realized that my niche was kind of moving towards more of the body contouring versus the actual aesthetics and skincare itself. And then overall, my passion was educating and teaching. So then I figured out, well, why not just teach and share with the world? And so that's where my trainings came into play, because it not only gave me, I have passion in it. I've learned all the skill sets and I continue to learn, but I'm able to hone in on that one thing that builds my business. So the wood therapy, the body contouring, all brings in the revenue for me, and then the classes become residual income. And that's the goal. That's what we're trying to get you to. We want to get you from the basic foundation of building your business to now growing your business, and understanding to grow your business, you have to understand what works best for you. What makes you stand out? Finding your niche as an esthetician. Your niche is what sets you apart in the beauty industry. It's the unique skill, service, or approach that makes clients choose you over competition. Identifying your niche starts with recognizing what you excel at. Is there a service you perform exceptionally well? Do clients trust your recommendations and consistently purchase products from you? Maybe your customer experience, education, or technique make you stand out. To find your niche, analyze your strengths, pay attention to what clients rave about, and consider what fuels your passion. Once identified, leverage in your branding, marketing, and pricing strategy to attract your ideal clients and grow a profitable business. So just tying it all back in together. Once you realize what you're good at and what you're passionate about, then bring it all together so that it makes an experience for your customer base. We're selling an experience, and that is the key to your revenue. That is the key to your business growth. That is the key to making you stand out. Once you are able to sell an experience, that sets you aside from the girl in the suite next door that's doing basically the same thing that you're doing, but she's not giving the experience that you're giving. All right, so we're going to dive into a little bit of marketing tips, and just kind of getting your niche out there. First of all, you want to make sure that you define your ideal client. What does that mean? Who benefits most from your services? Understanding their needs, their preferences, and their pain points. And once you figure that out, then you want to create a strong brand identity. Your brand should reflect your niche, from your logo and social media to the client experience that you provide. Again, keyword is the client experience. Once you figure out who you are and what you want your brand to represent, you have to put that into a package for your customers. So the main thing is making them feel like what they're getting, they're not going to get next door. They're not going to get down the street. They're getting an experience just for them. Utilize client reviews and testimonials. A lot of times we're on social media, and if you're like me, I have so much footage in my phone. I have text messages, I have just pictures, I have video clippings from clients that have left just, thank yous, or, they've just left from trainings to, even just services. They've just left video clippings, or they've gone on and did reviews online for me. Those things build your business. Those things help you in your niche get known. It helps market your business. Social proof builds trust and attracts more of your target audience. Leverage social media and content marketing. Showcase your expertise through engaging posts, tutorials, testimonials, and behind the scenes content. On your social media page, it's best that you show the services that you offer, but it's also always best to show your client satisfaction. Rave about your reviews. If a client leaves your review, one of the things that I tell most of my students when I'm training them in the business coaching is that if someone leaves you a review when they left your place, that means that they were extremely satisfied. So it's up to you to not only go back and acknowledge that review, but then you share that review. If you go to if you search us on Google, you'll see that, we are 5-star rated. I mean, have we gotten bad reviews before? Yes, we're human, things happen. But we've also been very attentive to those clients that are leaving the reviews, thanking them for the reviews, and then following up with them. If they came for a service that requires a follow-up, if it's a facial, in 2 to 3 weeks, hey, it's time for you to come back. Thank you for your review. For doing this review, you get 10% off your next service. These are the things that help leverage you on social media and pushes your niche in the world of marketing. You also want to offer promotions and loyalty programs. You're human, you're a consumer, even though you're, a business owner or you're getting ready to start your business. Everybody likes a deal. Everybody likes a promotion. Everybody feels like, they want to feel like they're getting the most bang for their buck. Incentives encourage repeat business and long-term client relationships. Come up with a loyalty program. Give them points for every service that they book with you. Do birthday specials. I make sure that when my clients fill out their consent forms that we have their birthday on there. If they're coming in for a special, if it's whether it's just self-care, whether it's, a birthday, whether it's an anniversary, if they call and they book and they mention those, we make sure to write that down on their consent cards and on their consultation is what I'm trying to say. We write that information down, we file it, and then on our website, when we have our client storage, there I know I get a reminder like, hey, Ebony came in on May the 2nd. It was a birthday celebration. A month before then, I've gotten a reminder so that I can send something out to her. Hey, Ebony, it's been almost a year since we celebrated you. Why don't you come in for this special? And we make sure that we continuously send these promotions and these specials out and make sure that the clients understand that they're loyal to us and that we're loyal to them, meaning that we remembered why they came in. We remembered, how they felt when they walked out the door, and we want them to experience that over and over. The next thing that you want to do when marketing your niche is you want to network and collaborate. Partnering with complementary businesses, attending industry events, and connecting with influencers in your niche is the best way to get yourself out there. If you have found that, you offer multiple services and dermaplaning is just, it's your thing. You're good at it. You like to do it. You're passionate about it. You get good results from dermaplaning. Then you want to get into rooms where people are dermaplaning. And it sounds very simple, but basically, when you go to networking events, when you go to industry shows, when you go to trade shows, if there are classes on dermaplaning and you feel that this is your niche, you want to get into those doors, meet the people that are in there, figure out how you can collaborate with some of these people, start having classes, start learning other techniques. You may be very good at what you do and you may have your own technique, but if you get into a room with somebody else that's doing the same thing as you, then you may find that they're doing something that may help you out or may be a little different that you could pick up and then make your business grow a little more. All right. And so after you've done all the marketing, you want to know and you want to understand retention strategies. Personalized client experience. Build relationships and make clients feel valued through tailored services and follow-ups. Again, reiterating what we just spoke about. If I come into your business, I want to not only make sure that I'm getting my money's worth, I want to make sure that if I'm laying down on your table with, my clothes off, or, you're working on my face and my skin is sensitive, I want to make sure that I can trust you. I can tell you my deepest, darkest secrets, because everybody knows that as estheticians or massage therapists or anybody in the beauty industry, you turn out to be a therapist with your clients. So you just want to give that whole atmosphere in your salon suite or in your business. You want to make sure that when they walk in, you are catering to them. They feel like, the services that they're getting was made just for them. You tailored that service down to the very specifics of what they needed. Consistent communication. Stay in touch with your clients, whether it's email, social media, text messaging, and keep them engaged and informed. If you have, something that's coming that you're being honored, let your clients know that. Let your clients know that you won Best of Georgia for 2024. Let them know that you're being honored on this specific date at this specific time, and even invite them out. When clients see that you're being recognized and they feel like they can trust you, they're going to spend more money with you. They're going to make sure that they refer you to their family members, and they're going to say, oh, well, I went to Bella Vida Day Spa, and did you know she was Georgia's best of best, and she was voted 2 years in a row, or she won this award. Those things help build your credibility. It builds your credibility in the community, but it also builds your credibility in the industry, so that you are well known. People understand that when they come to you, they're going to get the best of the best service. Exclusive offers and VIP memberships. Reward loyal clients with perks to keep them coming back. Kind of already touched on that on the last slide. You want to make sure that, whether it's birthdays, anniversaries, I even do self-care. If I get a new client that tells me, hey, I'm a mom, I haven't taken time out for myself, I've never had a facial before, I'm making mental notes on these conversations while I'm doing their services. When they're leaving, I'm following up with a thank you for coming out. Thank you for taking the time to give yourself self-care today. I always put it back on them. Make them pat themselves on the back. When you get that encouragement from someone, it makes you feel comfortable in coming back to them. So you're encouraging them to continue to take care of themselves. You're encouraging them to understand how, yeah, you may have 10 things to do today, but you took an hour out of your day to come and take care of yourself. And that's important. That's really top of the list. So you want to make sure that you're helping them understand the importance of self-care, the importance of coming back to get that one service that you gave them that you're so good at, that not only did they feel very special, they felt safe, and they felt like you really cared about them. By implementing these strategies, you'll not only attract the right clients, but also keep them returning, ensuring sustainable growth for your aesthetics business. That last statement, one thing that I've always stated when I teach my classes, especially like my lash classes, or, if I'm doing specialized training on, back facials, signature facials, it is very important to understand in this business, it's so up and down. If you run a promotion, guys, make sure that it's beneficial for you. What I mean by that is you can lower your services, but if you do a half off special on a facial that's normally $160 and you're doing it for $80 just to pull in new clients, if you're not creating a safe space, if you're not creating an environment where they feel like they're really being catered to, they're getting an experience that they've never gotten before, they're seeing other services that you offer, they're seeing the environment that they're in, the setup of your salon, the setup of your suite. When they see all of these things, you're creating that experience for them. Now, the key thing is retaining that client. A lot of times we run specials, we cut our prices in half, that client comes in and you do what you do because you know you're not getting the full price, and then that client never comes back. You didn't benefit you and you didn't benefit the client. No services, you're not retaining anything. The main thing is when you do promotions, when you do anything to bring a new client in, make sure that it's beneficial for you and the client. It's okay to do a half off special, but if you're doing that half off special, don't give them a half off service. Make sure that they're getting that full $165 service, that full experience, because then you're going to make sure that you follow up with them. You're going to make sure that if it's a service where you saw that they need additional services, you tell them before they leave so that you are retaining that client. You do everything today. Don't let them walk out the door and feel like, oh, okay, I just got this service for half off. It was a great service, but I'm probably never coming back. Give them an experience, make them understand that self-care is needed and that you are the expert. Okay, guys. So I know that that was very, very high overview and we went over a lot. I think we're going to go to some questions if there's any that Kristen will let me know about. In the middle of all of that, I do want to let you know that I'm thankful for you guys for joining us and welcoming yourselves into the room, taking the time to learn a little bit with me about how to grow and find your niche in your business. I do have a few offers that I do offer after all trainings that I have. I offer several services, several trainings. One in particular that I pride myself on is I love my wood therapy training and then signature back facials. So for this particular webinar, I do want to offer three. You can pick up any of three trainings that will be virtual trainings. We'll get together. You'll go a one-on-one virtual session. I will have a live model. You get an e-manual. We do continued education opportunities like this one and more. You will get certification. And this time, for this webinar, if you attend it, you get those services for $99 a piece. So if you're interested in that, that's something that I am offering as a special for today's attendees. You can text the word residual for this particular training offer. And the number is 404-987-6990. That's 404-987-6990. You text the word residual. We will follow up with you, get all of your information, and we will schedule your one-on-one virtual training. The other offer that we have today for those attendees that came and welcomed themselves in the room is where I do coaching classes. So if you attended our first webinar with Elite Beauty Society, I offered a 90-day coaching. This one is a little cheaper, 60 days for $299. It's an investment, guys. What we do is we break down your business. If you're new, just starting out, this is perfect for new estheticians because it gives you the ability to lay your foundation. We go over business setup and registration, your business plan, back office systems, marketing and branding, storefront or salon suite, what's best for me, business credit, building, and more. You get a weekly one-on-one during that 60-day coaching, industry networking and vending opportunities, and completion certificate and more. As far as the industry networking and vending opportunities, I host a lot of different webinars and there's a lot of different networking opportunities that I'm involved with, not just in Georgia, but in South Carolina, Florida, and North Carolina. So anything that I have access to, I definitely provide that access to any attendees or anyone that goes with one of our trainings. So with that said, I feel like I've spoken and talked a lot today, but if there's any questions, then I'll be more than happy to answer those today.
Perfect timing because we just got a couple come through. So the first one is, whilst doing facials, do you incorporate or use devices such as gua sha?
Absolutely. So those would be signature services. But devices, I use all my tools. So depending on what you're doing, yes, incorporate your devices. But then that goes into, if that's something that you're using as far as like when we're talking about finding your niche and what services to brand your business with, if it's something that you're using and you see that that's bringing in most of your client base, meaning that's where your revenue is coming from, then what you want to do is you want to market that in a way that it's the money makes sense for the services. So you can, like, I have facials, basic facials, and then I have my signature facials. With my signature facials, I'm using all of my tools, machines, massage tools, and a little bit more.
Amazing. And then what if I have three services that bring in a ton of my income for me, but they don't necessarily overlap? Specifically, they're waxing, brows, and facials. How do I niche down from there?
So it's going to be one of those things where, again, you can be good at some things, but you can't be great at everything. And if what you're going to have to do is look at your back office. So if you're doing brows, you're doing facials. What was it? It was brows, waxing,
Brows, waxing, and facials.
and facials. Okay, so then you're going to look at your price points. Which one is driving the most money? Waxing and brows are probably going to fall up under facials. So I would be inclined to think your facials are bringing the most money when it comes to the overall pricing points. But you may have more waxing customers than you have facial customers. The good thing about that is those three services can all be incorporated into one one visit. Like one client can get all of those in one day. So it's kind of hard to say, kind of how to narrow down your niche with those services, because me particularly, if those were my top services, my next thing to do would be look at which one is making the most money. I wouldn't be inclined to think that you're going to be your facials, because they're going to be priced a little higher than your waxing and your brows, unless you're doing permanent brows. Then that can kind of overtake your facials. But market the one that's making the most money for you. But you can incorporate packages. Those are times when you want to build a package. So if those are your top services and the money is kind of equal across the board, then incorporate a package to where you're getting what you need to manage your overhead, but you're also giving your customer a bundle so that they can get all three of those top services, and you advertise that.
Fantastic. Then what software do you recommend for booking and for point of sale?
So that's always been a doozy for me. I've tried. Right now I am with Wix. That's who I pretty much do everything with. But it's been tailored to my services. I can tell you that I have been inclined to go to Gloss Genius. I'm really, really leaning towards it, just because I'm moving my business into a different direction, to where I am doing more educational things. I'm setting my appointments and my booking up a little different. But speaking to Wix does absolutely everything, guys. Like you have your scheduling, your calendar incorporated into it. You have all of your back office, your advertising and marketing. It's one of the platforms that I feel like is a lot easier to use. So I would tell you, if you haven't tried anything, definitely try Wix first. A lot of people are using Square, which is good. Wix actually incorporates with Square, but what I found is that Wix incorporates with a lot of different apps as well. So if you are bundling different apps, or like some people have a site where they just have their facial services, and then they have a site where they're doing, like waxing, because certain things can't be posted on certain sites. But Wix will allow you to kind of bundle those things together. So try Wix.
Amazing. I'm currently in advanced aesthetics and mainly focused on brows. I like it and I make good money, but I really want to expand into lymphatic drainage and think I would be great at it. Do you think I could do both successfully?
Absolutely. I'm the girl that I'm the girl that does everything. But what I will tell you is, if brows has been what you've been known for, it will be a transition to get from, because those are two totally different things. You're going from more of skin to body contouring, which I'll be honest with you, the way that the industry is going lately, it's an amazing skill set to have. Lymphatic draining, wood therapy, which comes along with cupping. Anything body sculpting and body contouring is something good for residual. I absolutely think you could do both. You just want to be careful about where you're putting all your eggs just starting out. What I would tell you first is make sure that whoever you select to train you is someone that's qualified and someone that not just has a social media exposure, but you really follow them and learn that they have a client base. Because a lot of times when you have social media followings, but you don't have a true client base because you're known for this one thing, and those clients don't return to you. But right now, lymphatic drainage, body contouring, those are like top services now because a lot of people are getting surgeries. A lot of people are trying to lose weight. A lot of people, there's a lot of different avenues when it comes to body contouring where you can find residual income, and you can also collaborate so that you don't have to, not to say you don't have to choose, but you can do both and still be known for that one thing. But you're not going to be great at lymphatic drainage right off. It's not to say that you won't get great at it. You might find out that you're good at it. You can get the client base in and it soars way more than your brows do. But you definitely want to take the time to invest in who you're going to get to train you, and make sure that when you master that technique, you practice enough and promote yourself enough to where even if it fails, you still have your brow clients. So yes, absolutely do both.
And then speaking of body contouring, I've been thinking about moving into body contouring, but I mainly do waxing right now. What are the best steps to move into that?
Just do it. um, it sounds cliche, guys, but literally, it's so hard to, if you think about it and you think about it, you're never going to do it. If you feel like it's something that you have interest in, the only thing that I suggest to most people, because where I felt is I followed social media a lot. And I don't mean to drag social media because there's a lot of us that are great on social media, but there's a lot of us that will post and have classes and trainings, but you really don't get what you need to be successful. So do your research. I think it's an absolute great thing to go into. Like I said, I transitioned from doing like my skincare to doing body contouring, and it just grew for me. Like it really took off faster than I anticipated. But what I ended up doing was I went back to get more training. I went to some of the best people that I had researched, and most of them were on the West Coast. But then I came back home and really honed in and mastered. And you really want to learn the body. Don't think it's just learning a technique. You really want to learn the body when it comes to lymphatic drainage, when it comes to wood therapy. You really have to learn the body. And then you'll see that once you learn and understand the body and create your own technique, the clients and the money just kind of start coming. So kudos to you. If you want to do a body contouring classes, don't feel shy to reach out to me, because like I said, it's one of the things that I've mastered, and I'm doing those trainings as well.
Fantastic. And I believe that was the last question that I had in queue. Did anyone else have any in the comments? Okay. I don't see anything coming in right now, but if anyone, oh, wait, we have one. Shika is typing. While Shika is typing the rest of their question, I just want to follow up if anyone has any questions post-webinar or in a couple of days, please feel free to reach out directly to Ebony or to me, depending on who your question is directed to. Oh, and sorry, we have one more. Any advice for starting solo?
Yes. If you're going to start solo, I would tell you that right now the waters are shaky. It's not to scare you off, but do your research and, make sure that you have a business plan. Make sure that you really know exactly what you want to do and how you're going to do it, because a lot of times you come out of school and it is hard to like get into a salon or a spa that, that's looking for an esthetician, especially when you're just coming out, because a lot of people looking for experience. And so the next thing is, okay, well, I'm just going to do solo. There's nothing, absolutely nothing against going solo, but just make sure that you do your research. Make sure that you're prepared for your overhead expenses. You have your insurance intact. You understand what your specialties are going to be. If you're going to need specialty insurance, there's a lot of different things that come in with being a solo esthetician. It's really not about just going and get a suite. I tell people all the time, I've worked for somebody in a salon. I've had my own suite. I've had a 9 space salon suite and more. And you really just need to do your research and plan it out. Don't just jump into it. But it's definitely possible, and I wish you the best.
Then we have another one. Is your niche in aesthetics only? I need help, but I am a nail artist.
So I'm not a licensed nail artist, but when it comes to building your business and branding, I do that for everyone from realtors to anyone in the beauty industry. I'm so sorry, guys. One moment.
Very big. While Ebony is getting that, I do see that we've had some more questions come into the Q&A. So for anything that we can't finish, as I was mentioning earlier, we will be able to email you directly, just depending if it's directed to me or Ebony. And I'm going to be dropping our emails into the chat as well, just so you have them directly. Ebony's is on the screen, but that we can just click through, and then contact information will also be sent out in the follow-up email that everyone will be getting tomorrow. And
My apologies, guys. Sorry. No. But just to go back to that last question, I did want to say, the business mentorship that I offer, whether you do the 60-day or a regular 90-day, we can help you launch your business, build your brand, do the marketing, even if you're a nail artist. The foundations are the same. It's just understanding how to put yourself out there and separate yourself from the rest.
And then Chelsea has a question. Do you recommend anyone in particular for website building?
I do have a few people that I can send you out. If you will text your information to me, the 404-987-6990, you can text that number. Just put, website information, and I'll be more than happy to send you some people.
Amazing. And then the last one I see in queue right now is, what skincare lines do you offer and or recommend?
So, a little different when it comes to skincare lines. I use Image Skincare. And if you've gone to any of the trade shows like Premiere, that's one of my favorite trade shows, guys. There is another skin line. It's Nature's Pure, if I'm saying it correctly. But what I tell people when it comes to like what skincare line to use and what works best is that depends on your client. And it also depends on the client base that you're servicing. So I service a lot of African Americans. And for them, I don't always use the same skincare line that I would use on other people, just because the chemicals, the ingredients are a little different, and some things work better than others. So you just kind of have to play around with, what services you're offering, what client that you're offering it to. But Image Skincare is one of my Image and Eminence. Those are my two go-tos for my skincare lines.
Fantastic. I think that was the end of the questions we had in queue. So I will take that note, just to remind everybody again of the email addresses that I dropped in the chat. If anyone has any additional questions beyond this webinar, everyone again will also be receiving a copy of the recording in the email that they will be receiving tomorrow as a follow-up. You'll also see Ebony's exclusive offer in there as well. And I think that would just about wrap us up. So if anyone has any further feedback for EBS's webinar series, please also feel free to click on the link to our webinar series page where you can suggest topics and have different thoughts on what you would like to see next. So thank you all again for attending. Ebony, you've been fantastic. We really appreciate you coming out for us. And I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much.
Guys, thank you.
Bye.